All right, so we are live, and this is the Lead King Russ Ford. And what I am going to teach you guys today is how to do a virtual open house for sale by owners. Okay, now this is based off of a course that I already have, and I'm actually going to give you free access to that course. I charge 97 bucks for it. It's my entry level course, but for everybody on this webinar today, you're going to get access to this course because it's necessary for you to learn how to do what I'm going to show you to do. So the theory behind this is basically what we're going to do is we are going to call a FSBO, or we can run an ad to a FSBO. But at first, it's probably going to work best to just call them up. And we're going to run a script on them. And I have a script that I'm going to share with you. It's been tested and it works. I'm going to look here because my friend Andrew, I always butcher his name. Let me see. I want to try and say it correctly. My friend Andrew Nesbink, I think is his name. He's a realtor up in Jacksonville, and he and I have gone back and forth on best ways to deal with FSBOs. And Andrew has a great system. He actually gets like 10 appointments a week with FSBOs. He hasn't been using it this way, but this is something that we've been considering for a while now. And by the way, if you guys can't hear me, could you just put in the chat if you can hear me or not? Because I don't know if I linked up my microphone or if I'm using my computer volume. So anyway, Andrew came up with this way. He offers, thank you, Heather. Thank you, Andrew. He offers a 1% listing appointment. So he calls them up, or he has his VA call them up, and he says to the FSBO, hey, we're willing to offer you a 1%. Would you at least hear us out? And a lot of times what happens is Andrew will get there. He'll give his little presentation, and then he'll say, oh, by the way, this is what you can get for 2. This is what you can get for 3. And oh, you also are paying a commission to the buyer's agent, of course, aren't you? Because if you aren't, people aren't going to show up here and show your house. So he's been getting about 10 appointments a week from that and about 2 to 3 listings. And yeah, sometimes he does list them at 1%, but a lot of times they end up at 2.5 to 3% on the seller side, and they're always paying 3% on the buyer side because he always makes it a no-brainer that you're going to do that because that's what you need to do to sell your house. Now, we're not going to talk about his system today because that's just a little bit different. I want to show you the technology, really cool side of how we can use a chatbot and a Facebook page to do this, okay? So one of the people on the call here on the webinar, her name is Karen Foy. She is a realtor from Pittsburgh. She's one of my friends from back home, and she's one of the first people that I set up some things for. So the page that I'm going to show you is actually for the very first person I ever did this for. And I'm going to go ahead and share it with you. So I got to clear out a couple of these conversations first. Okay, so I'm going to share this page over here with you. And what this page you're going to see is all right, so this is the wrong page. This is it here. So what we're looking at is a page I specifically made for a property that Karen wanted to sell. So what you do is you actually make a Facebook page called the address of the home. So in this case, it was 233 Sunset Drive, Newcastle, PA, 16105, okay? So you actually set it up just like that. And then what you do is you make a nice background picture for it. And I have all this templated for you on Canva. So when you go into this course and you want to see how to do this, it's all templated. It's all easy. So all you really do is just open this nice template up in Canva and you drag and drop some pictures in here. Now, granted, this isn't the most beautiful property in the world, and I don't even remember what the selling price on it was. But what we did was we took it and we made it look really nice, at least on this Facebook page. So you make a Facebook page, you give it a profile picture, you give it a background picture. But then down here is the key, okay? Down here is where you write a description about the property. This is usually going to be the same description that you have on the multi-list that shows up on Zillow and all that stuff. So as you can see, it's a normal description. What the key that you want to do here with this description is you want to make it as enticing as possible without giving them the price and without giving them too many pictures. Now, I've also experimented with not putting pictures down here and putting a photo slideshow. And I find that a photo slideshow actually sometimes gets better engagement than just putting pictures. But it's negligible in a percentage type wise, so you can do either way. So like I said, you make the page about the property. you put a post on there, which is basically a multi-list description. And then what you're going to do is you're going to link it to a chat bot where it basically rehashes what you just told them about the property, and then it asks them if they would like to have a showing. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this works. Now, remember, we're looking at this on a PC, like a desktop environment, right? This is mostly designed chatbots for using on your cell phone, on your mobile device. So when you see this, it's not going to be the most cool looking thing in the world, but on a mobile device, it looks pretty cool. So they go through this and they click on the link, right? And what that's going to do is that's going to start a chatbot conversation. Whenever it pops up here. Okay, so you can see I do a lot of testing. And you hear that in the background, it's me. So what you can see is you can see all this coming in, right? So first it says, thank you so much for your interest, price to sell. And it just kind of gets into the bullet points, right? And then what it does is it gets into some pictures. And you can actually go through those pictures and you can put any kind of pictures you want. And like I said, this is all automated. You preset this whole thing up. And then finally, they get the asking price of the house here. Lets them know, hey, it's a steal, and would you like to set up a showing? Most people are going to say, no, I don't want to set up a showing, because they just don't. I don't think I've had 5 people since I've been doing this. However, if they say no, thank you, that's still okay. Because what we do then, there's Karen. What we do then is we give them your contact information. We give them an option to share it on Facebook. And really what we're using this for at this point is these people are all opted into the chatbot. So I'm going to go back over here to ManyChat. And so this is it here, right? And now this person's a chatbot subscriber. So they went from this chat over here, even though they didn't answer any questions and they didn't even opt in for a showing. What they are now is they're what's called a chatbot subscriber. And you can see on this particular property, we had 134 of those, right? And then if you go up here to audience, you can see every single one of these people that opted into the chatbot. And you can click on them, you can friend request them, you can do basically whatever you want. But the coolest part about what you can do with this is you can send them a message individually one-on-one, but you can also do what's called a broadcast. So what you do in a broadcast is exactly what I've been doing to you guys all day. Everybody who just got messages that said, hey, the webinar's starting in a minute, that was a broadcast message that I sent out to everybody who earlier clicked on a link that said, I'm interested. So what we do now is we click new broadcast. And then what you can say to these people is, hey, whatever your name is, you can put their name in there. You were interested at, I forget the address, 233 Sunset. You say something like that. Hey, first name, you were interested in the property at 233 Sunset. That might not be the perfect home for you, but I have a lot more like this one. Would you like me to send you a list of them? And you can do one of two things here. You can put 2 buttons here, a yes and a no button. And a yes button would actually reply. Let's just show you what it would be. So we say yes, and then we say no, right? If we say yes, we create another message. We call it yes, and say, great, please let me know price it's at, right? And then we make one that says no. We say no worries. Always say no worries because it's non-threatening, and a lot of people are just like, oh, okay, cool, no worries. Whenever you're ready, just reply here, okay? And then how you link that up is you go back to the post, and on yes, you go down to here and you select an existing step, click on yes, done. I didn't rename the other one. You go select an existing step, you click send message. So now it's linked up. So if they say yes, it's going to go there. And if they say no, it's going to go there. Now here's another step we can do. If they say yes, what we can do is we can add a tag to this. So what we'll do is click add a tag and says yes to other properties. And now what we do is we go next. And in this case, what we do is we'd send this out to every single person who opted into the chatbot, because we initially want to send this to everybody. Now, if we were sending it a retargeting campaign back out to them and we were going to follow up with the people who originally said yes, what you'd do is you'd click on a condition here and you would click tag, right? And you say the tag is, but it didn't do that yet. So what you would do is, I'm sorry here, I'm messing things up. The tag that we put right in here is once a list of homes, right? So we created that, click done. So then what you could do is you could target them by tag, right? And then it would tell you up here how many people had clicked on that. Now, of course, nobody's clicked on it yet because we didn't send this out. So that's how you do it, right? That's why this is so powerful. And one of the reasons why we get so many leads in doing it this way is because we're not asking them for a lot of contact information with this method, okay? We're not asking for their email. We're not asking for their phone number, because we do have direct access to them right through this chatbot, which is pretty sweet. What you can do later is you can ask them, hey, what's your number? What's your email address? And you can add things onto the chatbot that require them to give you that information. However, you do have to upgrade your chatbot to $10 more to ManyChat Pro. And the other thing is most people won't finish it if it's too long. So I like the fact that we have 134 people into the chatbot, and we can send them a broadcast message anytime we want. And a lot of these people will reply. And I'm not going to go ahead and do it right now because I don't know what Karen has going on with these people, but that's what we can do. Now, just to show you a couple more examples of how this works, and then I'm going to get into the theory on how we do this with the FSBO, okay? This is another one that we did for a house in Ohio. You can see that we got 861 people into this chatbot for this. If you over here the audience, you can just see it just keeps going and going and going, right? Now, the vast majority of these, we do this with $0 in ad spend. And I show you in the course exactly how to go into local buy-sell groups, drop just the right link and then just the right little advertisement so it doesn't get banned, and how you can get success like this. Now, in full disclosure, the realtor that I worked with in this one, he actually wasn't a realtor. He just wanted to help sell his parents' house. We did some paid ads for this, but the paid ads were super inexpensive. I think we were spending like $5 to $10 on this, and we got all these results. So this can really help. And then this one over here is another one of Karen's ads. And she actually did nothing but drop a link into a buy-sell group, and she spent no ad spend on this whatsoever. And you can see she got 327 subscribers out of this, okay? So what you wanna do is when you go see these FSBOs, you want to put something together like this, and you want to say, hey, look at all this success we've had for other people. Now, I'm going to help you with how we're going to present this to them, because that's the key, right? And the course on the back end is going to show you exactly how we are going to actually build this and implement this, and it doesn't take that long. It'll take you about an hour total to set this whole thing up for any individual property, okay? So once we're done here, I'm going to send you out this link, and I'm going to show you what this link has on it. This link is just going to go to a website on my page, and it's going to give you a couple of things. It's going to give you the phone script. It's going to give you a listing leave behind, the course on how to set this up, and then if you want to, you can book a free call with me, and we can discuss how I can help you. But what you need to do is, the first and foremost, before you do anything at all and start messing with these FSBOs, is you need to click this link on course login. And on course login, so this is the course, right? I'm going to log out. What I'm looking for up here, guys, is chat, because God forbid I just did all this talking and nobody could hear me. So let me just make sure you guys can hear me before I keep going. I can't find the chat box. That's what I'm looking for. You can tell I'm an amateur at this. This is actually the first live webinar that I've ever done. All this marketing stuff I do, and this is the first webinar that I've ever done. So I don't know. I don't see the chat anywhere. So in any case, this is where you need to log in from, and you just set up an account here. Now, when you log in, this is what you're going to see. Okay, this is the course that shows you how to set this whole thing up. It has an introduction. Shows you how to select and promote the listing, shows you how to set up the ManyChat chatbot, and there's even a template here, so all you have to do is click on it and it installs. Shows you how to market this to buy and sell groups and how to run paid ads. And then I have a little conclusion at the end. So this is the first step. You need to log in here. You need to go through this course and you need to understand how to do this. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is once you have that set up and running, well, you need to make a demo first. Okay. So make it for one of your listings, make it for a listing of one of your clients or one of your friends. Okay, cool. I finally found the chat. Everyone's saying good to go. I can hear you. Thank you so much for responding. So make one for one of your listings or a friend's listing or something like that. So then you can get the experience out of it. And then when you go see these FSBOs for the first time, you have something to show them. You have some success to show them, right? And if you even want to, I will give you some of my examples and you can print them out or whatever just to show these FSBOs how to do it or how you do it. Okay, so next I want to show you the phone script. Once you have it up and running, what we want to do is we want to call some FSBOs up. Now, what really prompted me to do this training was I saw a post in the Honey Badger group yesterday. For those that don't know, Honey Badger is a special, amazing, awesome training group we have for EXP agents that are part of our particular group. And I saw somebody in there that talked to a FSBO, didn't disclose that she was an agent right away. It just didn't come up in conversation immediately. And then finally, when she did disclose she was an agent, the FSBO kind of flipped out on her and was just kind of mean. So what we want to do is we want to clear that out of the way. So that's not gonna be something that happens right away or ever to people. We want to disclose we're an agent. So what I would recommend is have a few of these set up. And if you really want to be cool about it, go ahead and make one for that particular FSBO that you want to give a call to and have it pre-made. That would be optimally what I would do. However, if you don't have time for that, set the appointment with the FSBO and then go in and you're going to set the appointment and show them how it works. So I'm going to show you the script here. I was hoping it would just pop up on my browser, but it didn't. All right, so I'm going to share something else. And I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. Obviously, I need to tighten up my process here on the webinars. All right, so this is what we're sharing. Make sure. Now, can y'all see that doc file? Can somebody just say you can see it? Okay, cool. Heather can see it. Kyle can see it. Cool. All right, so this is the script we're going to use. Now, this is better than a normal cold call script because we are actually offering something of value. We are not offering to just list their house, right? Because most people that call the FSBO, what pisses them off? What pisses them off is, hey, I'm Russ Ward. I'm a realtor with EXP. I'd love to list your house. And he's like, yeah, everybody and their brother calls me and tells me they want to do this, right? Click. So here's how we do it. And I'm just going to go through it real quick because I don't have anybody here to role play with. So you start with a smile because a smile will make you talk happy and feel happy, right? So we're ring, ring. The seller says, hello, who is this? And I'm going to say, good morning, sir. I'm calling about the house for sale at 123 Main Street. Are you the owner? And they say, yes. How can I help you? Great. This is Russ Ward from eXp Realty. Real quick, I know you get 1,000 calls a day from realtors asking to list your property, and I promise that's not why I'm calling. I have something to share with you that will help you sell your home, and it will take just 60 seconds to explain, and I promise I won't waste any of your time. Fair enough. Now, what we found is most of them say, all right, 60 seconds. Okay, great, Mr. FSBO. I have a system that helps FSBOs sell their property without needing to do anything more than making it available for showings. I set you up with what's called a virtual open house that is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I will even get all the people to visit the virtual open house. You don't have to do anything other than be open to showing someone when someone's interested. Doesn't that sound like a great thing? Yes, what's the catch? I'm not signing a listing agreement and I'm not paying you to do this. There is no catch, but I do have a motive, obviously. When I generate interest for buyers for your property, I get to keep working with them if they decide that your property is not the one for them. And since you are offering a buyer's commission, aren't you, Mr. FSBO? I will also be receiving that commission. In return, I market your home for free in the most efficient way possible. We'll be working together as partners, fair enough? So, and the seller will say, sure, that sounds good. Just let me know when you have a buyer and call me back. So at that point, because they're going to still be a little bit standoffish, they're going to be a bit skeptical. You have to keep them on the phone. You have to keep them engaged a bit. It's better if you have a pleasing personality and a sweet sounding voice. You're not too gruff or anything like that. Some people are just naturally sweet on the phone. I guess I can be sometimes, but not all the time. So anyway, at this point, you need to see, wait, one last thing. I need to show you how it works. It will truly blow your mind, and you're gonna want to see this. This is a virtual open house. It's something nobody else is doing in the area. And I promise you will want to see this so you can understand how it works and how I will be presenting your home. It will take less than 30 minutes. Does tomorrow at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. work better for you, Mr. FSBO? It's key to ask this right here. You do not ask them when they have time. You do not ask them an ambiguous, open-ended question because they'll say, I don't know, let me get back to you. I have to ask my wife, right? You give them 2 choices, 10 or 2 the next day, or whatever's good for you. And if they don't pick one of those and they still give you some crap, then you give them another 2 choices. Finally, you may have to back out on this if they're like, I don't know, if they're just somebody like that. But the cool thing is that you can actually, call every single FSBO in your area and offer this. So if you get the runaround too much, you don't have to sit here and mess with them, but usually they'll say, okay, cool, that sounds great. And they will pick it. So let's say they pick 10 a.m., right? And fantastic. I'll be right on time. I look forward to meeting you tomorrow. Sounds great. Oh, last thing, Mr. FSBO, and this is key, guys. Please write this down. My name is Jane Realtor. I'm with ABC Realty. My mobile number is this number. We'll be meeting at 10 a.m. tomorrow. If there's anything that comes up, please call or text me, okay? If you get them to write it down and they actually agree, okay, cool, let me grab a pen, they're actually going to keep that appointment with you a much greater percentage of the time. This is a little thing I figured out when I was doing in-home sales. In the past, I've done flooring sales, I've done insurance sales, and I did solar sales. And every single time I got them to write it down, write down my name, write down my number, and ask them to confirm that they would call me if something came up, it always led to good results. So make sure you do that. Hold on, I'm actually looking at a question right now. Okay, so somebody said, if we sell this to a realtor, are we able to give them the script? This is for the marketers out there. So if you are doing this as a marketer and you are selling this as a service to the realtor, yes, I would recommend you give it to them as a script because you're gonna want the realtor to be calling them because the realtor needs to work with them, okay? So this is how we set up the appointments. And once we get the appointment set up, then what we do is we go back through that process where we set up the Facebook page for their property. They're probably going to have a really crappy description about their property if they have one at all. So it would probably be best to go into your multi-list and take a look and actually write a nice little description on your Facebook page and on the chatbot. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And here's where another step comes in, and this is what Andrew does. Now, I don't recommend you lead with this. I recommend you finesse this, just like I'm going to show you to do it. Okay, I'm going to show you another document here. So once you go there, you show it to them. And I didn't really get too much into how are we going to show it to them, right? I'm looking for this document here. I didn't really get in too much into, how exactly do we present this thing. What I really just want you to do is book the appointment, go over there and show it to them the best way that you know how, okay? I don't have a standard presentation for this. Everybody has a different personality, and I recommend you use it. So even if you need to deviate from that script a little bit, that's okay too. So let's assume you got into the house, you showed them how it worked. And I would recommend doing this on a mobile device, by the way, because the chatbot looks much better on a mobile device. If you do it on a computer screen like I did, it's like, that doesn't look so good. But on a mobile device, it looks amazing. So you go in there and you break it down how all this works, and the course will show you exactly how to do that. It won't show you how to present it, but it will show you how to do it. And then what you'll need to do is come up with your best way to present this once you get in the door. Well, let's say you got in the door, you showed it to the FSBO, they're excited, they're happy, they agree that they're going to at least pay a buyer's commission, because you want to talk to them about that and just let them know, hey, if you don't pay a buyer's commission, very few realtors are going to bring people by your house. And most people will agree to at least a buyer's commission. Now, this is where it's different. This is where Andrew does it a little bit different. When Andrew is setting an appointment for a 1% listing appointment, what he does is he'll talk to them and he'll get all their motivations for wanting to sell. He's very, very good at asking them, hey, why do you want to sell? And then what he does is in conversation, he hammers on that reason. They want to move to New Jersey. Say they live in Florida and they want to move to New Jersey to be home with their family, right? So you just keep reminding them what it's going to feel like to be with your family. Why do you want to do that? And I know it sounds a little bit weird sometimes, because if you're not really, if you're not an in-home salesperson, like a lot of guys like I have been, it might feel a little bit weird as a realtor to have conversations like these, but I assure you that it's not weird to them. They like talking about this stuff. Get them talking about what they want to talk about, right? Why do you want to move? Oh, I love my grandkids. I miss home, blah, 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 blah. So what you're doing is you're creating and you're stirring that emotion in them. And as you do that, it's making that desire greater for them to sell their house. So after everything is done, okay, what you want to do is you just want to drop this on them. And this is a template here. This is what Andrew made. This is Andrew's template for what he shows them. He shows them what they get for 1 to 1.5% listing, and he has a list of options of what they get. This is what they get from 1.5 to 2, and then this is what they get from 2 to 3.5. And feel free to edit this as you like. Obviously, you're going to have different services, and I know some of your brokers don't even allow you to go below 3%. So, you know, if that's not an option, don't worry about it. Just show them what they get for 3%. But the way you bring this into the conversation without sounding like a bait and switch, you know, it's like car salesman, is that you finish up everything, and then at the last minute, what you do is you have a folder or you just have it stapled together. I recommend at least putting a cover page on it, and you just lay it down and say, hey, Mr. FSBO, you know, just so you know, the statistics show that by the National Association of Realtors is that about 80% of the time FSBOs end up listing their house with a realtor. And I just want to show you, you know, and just leave this behind for you, that this is what I offer if you ever do decide that you want to list. But in the meantime, there's no pressure. I'm going to do exactly what we talked about, and hopefully I'm going to bring you a buyer. But in the meantime, go ahead and read over this. And if you decide you ever want to list, I'd be more than happy to help you with this, right? And what you're doing there is you're dropping the hint that, holy crap, man, 80% of FSBOs actually list. And I heard that somewhere. I don't know if that's the actual number. I'd have to research it and make sure that I gave them accurate data. However, if it is 80%, they're going to think something like, wow, if 80% of people are really going to go ahead and list with a realtor anyway at the end of the day, okay, well, maybe I'll think about this. So, you know, you give them all these options, and there's a ton of information on here. And they start to thinking, wow, well, what if I could get some of this stuff? Wouldn't a sign in my yard for 1% at least be worth it? So that's what I recommend to do, okay? And I know I talk kind of fast, and I went through this a little bit fast. But the key to this is that I need you to get into this course, okay? And I need you to have a property in mind before you do it. So I'm going to go through it just one more time. I'm going to go back over to this course. Where is it at? Okay, so just one more time. This is you logging into the course, right? So this is the thing that's going to step you through exactly how to set up these properties, all right? And once you get good at this, you're going to be able to do these in about 15 to 20 minutes. You're going to be from start to finish, because I template the whole thing for you. I give you all the text to use. It's super easy to set this up. Now, of course, this is going to take some hustle on your part. You are going to have to make phone calls. You are going to get some rejection. You are going to get yelled at probably, leave me alone, blah, 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 blah. But it's okay, because what you're doing is you're offering these FSBOs a solution that nobody else is going to offer them, okay? And for the marketers out there, you're offering realtors a solution that nobody else is offering them. You can say, hey, I'll give you a 5-pack of these. I'll set this up for you 5 times. And then in addition to all this, not just getting a FSBO, you can use this for your own listings, because what you'll do is you're going to generate a ton of leads for yourself in the process of listing or marketing your own listing. So this is a great way to not only get some FSBOs, but to also get some listings, okay? And one last thing, somebody specifically asked me about this. I want to show you guys how to make a QR code. Now, there's a reason for this. So let's just say that we were using this one, right? To get the link that starts this chatbot, and again, this is in the training, you're going to go to Growth Tools, and this is the link that starts the chatbot, right? So I'm going to copy that. And if you want to make a QR code that starts this, so basically on an iPhone, you just scan it, boom, and it starts it up. All you do is go to Google and search for QR code generator. And I'm just going to pick a random one because I don't have a favorite one. What you do is you pop that link in there, create a QR code. And now this QR code over here, well, as soon as somebody scans this thing, it's going to start your chatbot, which is pretty sweet. So I'm going to do a follow-up training to this one, probably in another week, maybe in 2 weeks, where I actually have a chatbot that you use. And what it's going to do is it's going to check people into an open house rather than have them sign in. And it's really going to include a QR code like this, because you're going to have them scan this QR code when they come into the open house, boom, it's going to open the chatbot, get all their information. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be really helpful to you, but that's going to be another training on another day. The reason I showed this is because somebody specifically asked me to talk about this today. So that is what I have for you in terms of how this works. And I just want to see if any of you all have any questions, because if you do, I would be more than happy to answer them before we get on out of here. Let's see here. All right, so I'm looking at the chat now. Link to the course, good question. It's gonna be on this page right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send this in the chat right now. So everybody in the chat, and tell me if you get this in the chat. bit.ly/FSBO-open-house. That's going to get you to my page where there's a template for all these things. Okay. Let me see if there's any other questions here. Questions on the follow-up broadcast. You know what? I don't have instructions on the follow-up broadcast in this particular course. However, I will make a video on this, and I will post it, and I will send it out to everybody who is on my chatbot. How about that? Because I think most of you here opted into my chatbot, and I will also put a link to it on my Facebook page. So look for it there. All right, I'm still looking in here for some questions. You don't see a bit.ly link? Let me send it again. Okay, do you see the bit.ly link that time? Oh, that's because I was sending it to one person. I was sending it to only. Man, I'm so bad at this. I totally appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. All right, here it comes. This one's to everyone. How about that? Did you all see it that time? All right, cool. So I really thought this was gonna take like an hour, but because I'm not showing you how to set this thing up, it's not. And I could have showed you how to set it up. I just really would prefer you to go through that course and to really take your time and go through it. So that's all I got. If you guys don't have anything else, you know, I'm always here to answer your questions. I'm here to, you know, you can hit me up on chat, on Facebook Messenger. That's usually the best way to do it. And if you want to, you can schedule a free call with me. There's no obligation if you schedule a call with me. I can kind of run over with what's going on with you, how I can help you. And yeah, I am going to pitch you some services in full disclosure, because that's what I do on the Lead King. And if it makes sense that we work together, great. And if it doesn't make sense that we work together, that's okay too. I'll still give you free help. So that's it. That's all I got, guys. Don says he didn't get the link. Let me post it one more time. All right, so posted that link one more time. It should be in the chat. Don, if you are in the chat, you'll see it over there. All right, guys, that's all I got. So have a great day. Thank you for hanging in there on my first webinar I've ever done. And you're going to be part of the legacy of me building webinars, because you're the first ones. You're my guinea pigs, and I truly appreciate you hanging in there and not making fun of me too bad. Have a great day, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next training.